Good afternoon, everyone. Another sign our jet streams are breaking and going to the wrong places. Boeing 787 from London to Los Angeles. 800 miles an hour, new world speed record as it's caught up in record winds in the jet stream. And through the Italian Alps and down into the Adriatic, looking at 120 mile per hour Bura winds. Massive hail in Argentina. Record warm in Scotland. Snow in Saudi Arabia, winter typhoon in the Pacific, dragon auroras, and most of these events can be pinpointed a causation of decreased solar activity on a 400-year cycle. Welcome to the Grand Solar Minimum. And during these uncertain times, I've teamed up with my Patriot Supply long-term food storage, a nice affordable starter kit, 2-week food supply, 1,500 calories per day, breakfast, lunch, and dinners, plus the 4-gallon storage containers included in that. This is a good first step in getting more self-sufficient. And if you click through the Prepare with ADAPT 2030 page in My Patriot Supply, you can get this starter kit for $75. Please remember there's a limit of 2 per household in this special offer. If you're unfamiliar with jet streams and how they're breaking and moving into the different places across our planet, creating these extreme weather events, here's a good representation visually. This is happening in and over Europe at the time. There's a cyclone to the west, Arctic front pulling south, equatorial vortex pushing heat up into Central Europe, 120 mile per hour winds, record snow, all happening in the exact same days. So if we take that jet stream flow and turn it into temperature anomalies, you could see where that equatorial vortex is now being pushed up into polar regions, and the polar regions are being pushed down into warmer southern latitudes. Give you a glimpse of this again so you can see the comparison. Now, as we continue deeper into the intensification of the Grand Solar Minimum, these jet streams are going to go further out of their flows, so you can expect even heavier rains, heavier hail, more extreme events as we move forward in the timeline through the next 15 years. And this, at the same time, is creating 120 mile per hour Bura winds coming over the Italian Alps, down into the Adriatic, Slovenia. Incredible wind speeds in there, pushing over 200 kilometers per hour in some areas. Gusts are being registered around 60 to 90 miles per hour already through the day. It's going to intensify through the night over through the 23rd and 24th. So if you're out there, beware of these extreme winds. So here we are, the same lexicon yet again. I've never seen anything like this. Experienced pilots talking about the record-breaking wind speeds that this jet encountered crossing over part of the United States heading to LA. Wind speeds were clocked in at 1,280 kilometers per hour, which is just a bit over 800 miles per hour, breaking the sound barrier. Commercial aircraft are not designed to break the sound barrier and go to hypersonic flight. And I thought, really, well, if this is a true story, it's going to have to be some pilots or pilot associations talking about it across the social media. Sure enough, jet stream so strong at 758 miles per hour over the U.S., pushing tailwinds on the aircraft, all-time record speed for a commercial airliner, pushed along by the jet streams. Now, ordinarily, the jet stream cruises around 500 miles an hour, roughly, but this time it was up around 750. A full 25% increase in the wind velocity. So you can see why all these events are happening across our planet with warm and heat in the wrong places, extreme atmospheric compression event, ringing of the sky, because this is where 2 of these jet streams are colliding, where they're not normally in these spaces. They're fighting for position, if you will. Case in point, Scotland breaks all-time February maximum temperature record, 18.3 degrees. But just a couple weeks ago, they had record snow. And it flip-flops back and forth through the winter, and I do believe it's going to be even cooler as we march into March and April. And in the same media feed over on Mateo World, they had these snows in Saudi Arabia. We saw snows across the desert and over in Los Angeles over the last few days. And if jet streams were breaking, there were more powerful updrafts during electrical storm activity, you'd see bigger hailstones. And here we are. Look at the size of these hailstones that came down in Cordoba, Argentina on February 23rd. And speaking of out-of-season storms, February Typhoon approaching the Philippines over the next 7 to 10 days. Southern Hemisphere, active of course, but the Northern Hemisphere, it's an out-of-season typhoon for sure. They might get one every several years that occurs in the winter like this, January, February, but it is not the norm. Typhoon seasons, July, August, September. And if the magnetosphere was weakening, we'd see more intense electrical activity in the upper atmosphere. And what do we see? Auroral jets captured over Mauna Kea in Hawaii. And it almost looks like red sprites at the top of that as well. Coloration going off that looks like a sprite. It's something sort of a hybrid. Intensity increase for sure in the electrical connections between our sun and our earth. Dragon auroras as well during the same week. This is making it around the Chinese social media because what they see is also something in the skies. And for those of you who notice the correlation between decreased solar activity and increased volcanism and tectonic activity, and Mount Etna saying hello over the last couple of days. Ash cloud drifting. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please remember to visit our sponsor, Patriot Supply. Link is below in the description box. Every single purchase helps keep ADAPT 2030 on air, bringing you more information about the intensifying Grand Solar Minimum. MyPatriotSupply.com. Prepare with ADAPT 2030. And if you'd like your information in audio format, Mini Ice Age Conversations podcast, 30 minutes on the go, anywhere you can find a podcast hosted across the net. And I'm turning all of these videos into written post format as well. Steema.com/ADAPT 2030.